Ancient Rome is renowned for its majestic aqueducts, monumental feats of engineering that once carried fresh water into the heart of the sprawling metropolis. These iconic structures with their towering arches still dot the Italian landscape, silently narrating tales of a bygone era. However, while these above-ground aqueducts are undoubtedly impressive and have captured the popular imagination, it is lesser known that a significant portion of Rome's water system lay hidden beneath the earth. Yes, we are talking about the underground aqueducts of ancient Rome. These subterranean passages, often overlooked, were the unsung heroes of the ancient city, forming the lifeline of a civilization that depended on fresh, clean water to sustain its vast population, public baths, numerous fountains, and even private households. In today's episode, let us embark on a journey back in time and explore the hidden marvels that made Rome one of the world's first modern cities. The story of Rome's aqueducts began in 312 BCE, with the construction of the Aqua Appia, the city's first dedicated water supply system. Named after the Appian Way, the famous road that led to the south, this aqueduct carried water from a spring near the Via Appia to the Porta Metronia, a gate in the Servian walls, marking Rome's boundary at the time. Interestingly, from the outset, the Aqua Appia was designed to be mostly underground, a decision that was not merely practical, but also served a strategic purpose. By keeping the aqueduct hidden, Roman engineers protected it from potential enemies, safeguarding this vital resource from being easily disrupted or contaminated. This approach set the tone for subsequent aqueduct constructions and became a defining feature of Rome's hydraulic infrastructure. Over the next several centuries, Rome constructed an intricate network of 11 aqueducts, each with its unique route and purpose. Of these, the Aqua Virgo, Aqua Marcia, Aqua Tipula, and Aqua Agnovitas were entirely subterranean, relying on underground tunnels carved through solid rock and soil. Others, like the Aqua Appia, Aqua Virgo, and Aqua Claudia, had both above and below ground portions. While the towering arches and open channels drew the eye, it was the subterranean stretches that truly showcased Roman mastery in surveying and construction. These hidden passages, often more than 3 meters high and 2 meters wide, were not merely dug, but meticulously engineered. They followed precise gradients, ensuring a steady flow of water from source to distribution point. No pumps or other mechanical devices were involved. It was gravity, the relentless force of nature, that the Romans harnessed. Water flowed from higher elevations to lower, making its way through the intricate network of tunnels and eventually emerging to the surface through carefully designed fountains, public baths, or private homes. But it wasn't just about getting water from point A to point B. These subterranean aqueducts were marvels of Roman urban planning. Along their routes, the Romans constructed access points known as putei. These vertical shafts, spaced at regular intervals, allowed engineers and maintenance workers to inspect and clean the aqueducts, showcasing the Romans' foresight in tackling potential issues before they arose. As the Roman Empire grew, so did its demand for water. By the height of the empire, Rome's aqueducts were supplying nearly 300 million gallons of water daily. This water fueled the empire's growth, enabling not only basic domestic use, but also luxuries like public baths and ornate fountains. In fact, the Romans were among the first to introduce public baths as part of their daily life, places where people would go to socialize, relax, and keep themselves clean. Such baths required vast quantities of hot and cold water, a testament to the aqueduct's importance. Moreover, Rome's aqueducts were instrumental in creating a sophisticated sewer system. By channeling away waste and rainwater, the aqueducts prevented the accumulation of stagnant water, a common breeding ground for disease. The complex network of sewers, including the famous Cloaca Maxima, showcased the Romans' understanding of public health and sanitation, factors that significantly contributed to Rome's ability to support a large urban population. Now let's talk about how the underground aqueducts fit into all of this. As we mentioned earlier, several of Rome's aqueducts, including the Aqua Virgo, Aqua Marcia, Aqua Tipula, and Aqua Agnovitas, were entirely subterranean. But why was this? What advantages did the Romans gain by burying these aqueducts instead of leaving them exposed above ground? One of the primary reasons was, as we already mentioned, the protection of the water supply. By keeping the aqueducts underground, Rome shielded the water from potential contamination due to enemy attacks or general urban neglect. It also safeguarded the structural integrity of the aqueducts themselves, shielding them from the wear and tear of weather, vandalism, or accidental damage. Underground aqueducts were more resistant to these external factors, ensuring the longevity of the structures and the continued flow of water. Another advantage of subterranean aqueducts was their reduced visual impact on the landscape. Unlike their above-ground counterparts, underground channels did not disrupt the visual appeal of the city or the surrounding environment. This was particularly beneficial in a densely populated urban area like Rome, where maintaining the city's aesthetic appeal was paramount. And finally, there was the element of surprise. The hidden nature of underground aqueducts added a sense of mystery and wonder to the distribution of water in the city. When water flowed from a public fountain or filled the public baths, citizens were less likely to question its source or the complex engineering behind its delivery. The aqueducts. Tuk Eden became a source of civic pride, symbolizing the ingenuity and power of Roman engineering. However, building underground aqueducts was not without its challenges. The process of digging through solid rock or clay presented significant engineering difficulties. It required skilled labor, specialized tools, and a deep understanding of the terrain. Moreover, maintaining these underground structures was a continuous challenge. Any blockage or damage to the tunnels could disrupt the water supply without providing an obvious point of access for repairs. Still, the Romans overcame these challenges, leaving behind a legacy of extraordinary engineering and urban planning. Today, while much of Rome's aqueduct system remains lost beneath the city's bustling streets, archaeologists continue to unearth hidden stretches of these subterranean marvels. Excavations such as the one near the Piazza of Venezia, which revealed a well-preserved section of the Aqua Aqueduct, provide valuable insights into Rome's hydraulic infrastructure. These discoveries not only highlight the technical brilliance of the aqueducts, but also underscore their essential role in making Rome a thriving superpower. In fact, the buried aqueducts serve as a potent reminder that Rome's grandeur was not only built above ground, but also engineered beneath it. They were a silent, unseen force driving the vitality of the empire. Now let's take a closer look at what it took to construct these underground wonders. The construction of Rome's underground aqueducts was a testament to Roman engineering excellence and sheer manpower. The process was not simply about digging a hole and letting gravity do the rest. It involved meticulous planning, skilled labor, and innovative techniques. The first step was selecting the right location for the aqueduct. Engineers would choose a path that minimized the need for tunnels, taking advantage of natural depressions in the landscape. Once the route was established, the work began. Workers, often slaves or prisoners, would start digging. The excavation process was arduous, involving the removal of tons of dirt and rock. Simple hand tools were often used, supplemented by more advanced instruments like the Roman auger. This tool, a type of drill, allowed workers to bore holes for the aqueduct's foundation. Once the trench was dug, the sides were often reinforced with concrete or brick to prevent collapse. This lining ensured the structural integrity of the aqueduct and helped prevent leakage. The bottom of the trench was carefully leveled to ensure a smooth flow of water, and then the aqueduct's channel was constructed. This could be done using a variety of methods, including laying large stones or bricks in a mortarless system. The entire process was a delicate balancing act. The aqueduct had to be watertight to prevent leakage, yet it needed to be accessible for maintenance. Regular manholes were constructed along the route, allowing workers to inspect and clean the aqueduct. The construction of these underground aqueducts was a Herculean task, but the Romans accomplished it time and again. They left behind a legacy of hydraulic infrastructure that not only supplied water to the empire's citizens, but also shaped the very character of the city. So the next time you visit Rome and marvel at the Colosseum or the Pantheon, remember to also appreciate the hidden marvel that lies beneath your feet, the underground aqueducts, a testament to Roman ingenuity and the backbone of the empire's greatness. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and join us in exploring more historical tales. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more historical tales.